I've been sent here to offer you the first ever flag football female Division I Power 5 scholarship.
Thank you.
Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Nebraska Athletics made history by becoming the first school from a Power 4 conference to add women's flag football as a varsity sport. They share that history by extending their first offer. Welcome into sports. I'm Mason Kern. It's familiar territory for Matt Rule, Orange Lutheran High School in California. TJ Lateef went there, and so does Makena Cook, a quarterback who becomes the first female athlete in history to get a Division I Power 4 flag football scholarship.
I knew that he was going to be there, but I had no idea that they were going to offer me or any of that. And all of a sudden he just offered me and I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I was in complete shock and I was just so excited. But it hasn't even set up for me. Like, me and my mom were talking about it the other day and I was still like, just like in shock to even think about like a powerful school number one has a flag football team, and let alone to have an offer from them is something so special. And I think, I'm still in shock about it.
Cook says Matt Rule made a great impression and that Nebraska is pioneering a growing sport.
This was my first time ever meeting him, and yeah, he was a super nice guy. I didn't even know what to expect, honestly, but he was super nice. He was super welcoming, and obviously you could definitely tell that he's really passionate about women's sports, and it's just contagious. I think it definitely shows everything about their school in general and how much they believe in women's sports, and to be able to be the first school to ever come out with a team in the Power 4, I think is something really special, and I think the more and more teams are going to join in because they're leading the way, and I think that's something really special.
Cook committed to play soccer at Georgia last August. She tells me she's keeping all of her options open.